Hey guys, just got home. Man, it was what a night, fun night. We it was date night for the wife and I. We went to Logan Steakhouse for dinner. Left there, went straight to the movie theater, which was like one block, so it was like really close. And got into the theater seats just in time for all the stuff to start. Trailers. I wasn't very excited by most of the trailers. I oddly had disliked some of the trailers that preceded the film. I did like the Morbius promo. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, but the rest of them I didn't like too much. Disney's movie about living in Mexico and the magic thing. I mean, the concept sounded interesting, but I didn't like one single shot in the trailer. There was nothing emotional. So, um, but it's kind of surprising to see any kind of trailers right now. You know, we're still in that period where COVID has messed everything up. So, and but hey, let's see, what do we got here? I'm going to go from the very beginning. Let's see. Boom. 7 out of 10. I'm guessing that was your review for the film, Redneck. Two of the kids actors were great. Two were meh. Um, my kids dance and clap. Won't spoil anything. Yeah. Dust Wolfen. Hello, Dust Wolfen. What's up, Jacob? Yeah. Well, the movie let out late. Uh, there's like literally minutes walking out the door of the theater. I looked at the time. I'm like, I'm going to be late for the show because it was like almost 11:30. And I thought they were going to well, the show started late. The movie didn't start. It was supposed to start at 10 minutes before the hour. And instead, it started 15 minutes after the hour. So there's your missing time. Let's see. Rittenhouse. Yeah. I'm keeping away from that right now. Everybody in private knows how I feel. Pop culture minefield's a stupid idiot. I don't like him. Let's see. Greetings, my excellent friends. I wish Keith was here. I need to check on him in the morning. I'm very concerned about everything going on over there. Both Deanna and I are very concerned. So keep your positive thoughts or say your prayers for our good friend Keith. And if you didn't hear, his daughter ended up in the emergency room. And that's why we didn't do a show earlier, TGIF. Boom, baby. Damn right. Hell, Martin Acosta. Hey, Gary, please try to keep the spoilers. I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm just going to talk about the feels. And I will talk about themes, and I will talk about one of my biggest issues or gripes with the film, which I'll get into in a minute. Das Wolfern. And yeah, they start exactly when they're supposed to. Pat is here. What is up, Pat? No, dude, it was very quiet. We had perfect seats. I bought them earlier this morning. I bought them this morning, and we got the middle row in the middle column. I mean, we're smack dab right in the middle. Perfect sound, perfect visual. It was just a great showing. There was a couple behind us, about 4 rows back. There was a group of friends, I think, right in front of us, 3 of them. And then right in front of them to the left was another couple. That was it. That's all I saw. I thought it was a great movie. I enjoyed the nostalgia. It had plenty of feels. It was probably my movie of the year until Spider-Man, but I am easy to please. I am in many ways too, so I totally get that. But I'm just going to get right into the simple aspects of this. Pacing. The film's first going into the third act, from the first, second, and going into the third act, had serious pacing issues. There was some stuff that really they took too much time on that didn't need so much time taken on. And then there was stuff that really needed to be focused on that they just kind of rushed through or didn't even gloss over it. They just like, here it is. There we go. Moving on. It's like there are lots of little things. I will tell you this. I won't tell you what's at the end. Stay to the very end after the credits. Stay to the end. Everybody left the theater and missed every post-credit scene. And I was like, why are you leaving? You know, odds are there's going to be post, and I was right, of course. There were post-credit scenes. A deleted scene. Stopping by to say hello. Try to jump back on when I can or catch the replay. Love the movie. Respect to the fans in the original film. We'll definitely go back to see it again. Yeah. Let me put it this way. Easily, I can stack them up in order of best. This is a direct sequel to the first Ghostbusters. It is not a sequel to Ghostbusters 2. It is better than Ghostbusters 2 in many ways. I had a lot of issues with Ghostbusters 2. I think every serious fan had issues with it. Love it. I love it, but it is nowhere near as good as the first film. This film is nowhere near as good as the first film, but it's better than the second film. I'm not even going to mention how much better it is than the stupid reboot. This is a very good film. There's a little bit of nostalgia, definitely. Yeah, actually I refer to that as my Alan Arkin figure because it doesn't look like Ash; it looks like Alan Arkin. Um, let's see. I really love this film. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was pacing issues. I really it's like it was boring at points, and it shouldn't have been boring. It was tedious at times, and it shouldn't have been tedious. And then, like I said, it would get rushy and like speed through things that it shouldn't be speeding through. Um, there are lots of little tiny pet peeves I had with Act One and Act Two. I have an issue with Act Three because of the obvious. I won't spoil it, but I think that the abruptness of what happens in Act Three, um, it and it could be this because Deanna and I talked about it. Deanna and I are very simpatico on this film. It's a lot of stuff I think ended up on the cutting room floor to make the film shorter. And I'm hoping that we get a director's cut because I think that a director's cut is going to be a little bit more um, clear on certain things that I don't think they were clear on. I like that this was an original film in many ways. We got original characters that weren't overly derivative. I disagree. I think all the kids were enjoyable. I thought they were funny. That little Asian kid, he's clearly Stance, Dan Aykroyd's character. He's clearly that character. And I think each one of the kids kind of represented a character from the original Ghostbusters, but they did it in such a different way. That Wolfgar, whatever his name is, he was fun. I liked him. I think they should have gone more into his interests, and I don't want to say what that's about. I don't want to explain it. I love the granddaughter. She was adorable, and I identified with her because being smart is difficult as a kid, and you don't fit in, and you feel out of sorts when her jokes were hilarious because she tried to tell jokes. But again, one of the best parts of this thing is the fact that it's not one gag after another like they did in 2016, which was what ruined it. Ruined it, Brian. Ruined it. This time they followed the same basic principles of the first film, which is it's a basic horror film, haunted house story with monsters, and there's going to be some stuff that's borderline scary, which I thought there were a couple of scenes that were pretty fucking creepy. And it's not the gags. Instead, it's how they react to the shit going on around them and learning things. There's a lot of discovery in this film. I think they could have done better on the discovery, but still, I think that that's because, again, some of it ended up on the cutting room floor. And it will hopefully be in deleted scenes and or a director's cut, because I'd love to see a director's cut of this film. Deanna too, she said the same thing. I was kind of hoping she'd be on the show, but she had to go to bed. We got home. I headed in here. She went straight to the bedroom. Yeah, I'm going to bed. Love you. All right, book off. So, see, wait a second. Script Doctor, what's up, my friend? Podcast was awesome. Hey, I just saw the movie. I loved it. Ass sucks. Very good film. Yeah, everyone loves Phoebe. Yeah, she's a great character. That girl can fucking act. I'm going to tell you. I think she outacted every child in that freaking movie, including the teens. She outacted the person playing her mother. She's that good a fucking actor. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to tell you anything. I will tell you that I was emotionally invested in this film from the get-go. They nailed it. They did everything right that should have been done in 2016. That was done wrong. You make a film for the people that are going to pay. That's who you make a movie for. Stop with the fucking politics. Stop with all the social, ideological garbage. What's important is getting asses in seats and getting them to be repeat buyers. I will be going back to see this film again. Stay to the fucking end. Stay to the end. Stay to the end of the credits. Stay. Don't fucking walk out. I'm telling you, there are post-credit scenes. Don't fucking walk out. So many people, everybody left. Deanna and I were the only two left in the theater at the end. And I'm like, every single person missed some payoff scenes that I'm not going to fucking tell you what they are. Let's see what script says here. They're not really on the spectrum. Highly intelligent people have different I tested at 68% on the spectrum, and I have an IQ of 154. And here's the thing about it. I thought I was dumber than everybody around me. I had no idea how smart I was. I thought maybe that's why I didn't get them or understand some of the things they were doing as a kid. That's why I hung out with Jim Woodward and Michael Beatty a lot. Bennett Sumner too. I liked to hang out with those guys because they were smart. They were smart like me. We all tested high, and I totally identify with the daughter so much. And of course, in this film series, Egon was my fucking hero. You know, I fucking loved Egon. Egon was this film franchise's version of Spock because I idolized Spock. Maybe, but the social awkwardness kind of could make it seem so, and there would not be anything wrong with it. No, I liked her character. I liked her way of trying to deal with nervousness by telling jokes. Really bad, smart, but bad dad jokes until the credits. Yeah, amen, brother. Did your theater turn up the lights during the credits? No. They turn on the aisle lights only so you don't fucking break your neck trying to leave. Past that, it stayed relatively dark so you could see the screen clearly, and I really like that. We go to Regal theaters here. I like Regal cinemas. I've been going to Regal for 30 years. I love Regal. I prefer them over AMC. I prefer them over a lot of theaters. I don't know. I'm a loyal follower. And of course, you know, I'm a big supporter of make sure you buy snacks, because movie theaters don't make their money off of ticket sales. They make their money off of concessions. So make sure if you love and want to support your theater, buy concessions. Yes, a fucking $15 hot dog. Yeah, I have been irritated by that many a time. But there you go. Thank God this film wasn't woke. Look, no, it was woke, but it was woke in a way that I've said I will tolerate. and move along, because it absolutely had forced diversity in it. We're in the middle of a Midwest town, and the only people they become friends with is a black girl and an Asian kid. I'm like, this is a fucking Western town, ranch town, farming town, and I've been to those, and they're really not very diverse places most of the time. They're becoming more because people are moving there with those different cultures. But when the girl says something about being a fourth generation member of that I immediately was like, you know, you shouldn't have said it that way. It should have been something more believable. But don't care. I enjoyed those kids. They were fucking awesome. That Asian kid, I don't know what his name is, Kim or something, but God, that kid was fucking funny. His reaction to shit, I laughed so many times watching that. Wolfgar, whatever his name is, I enjoy him. I don't think he's that good of an actor at times. He has moments, but he really plays an interesting character. The character is what's interesting. His performances and his character is interesting, and that he didn't get the E-gun gene. I thought that was interesting, and I don't want to go into it any further than that. Hold on, I missed something here. There's nothing wrong with it, but I've seen really smart people hurt by autistic programs because they weren't actually autistic. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I was hurt by not being understood at all as a kid. And I was put in remedial reading in the 5th grade. And thank God for Mrs. Atkins, the teacher. She caught me reading one of her books at her desk, and she asked me to read from it to her out loud, and I read to her from it. And I, of course, have been reading aloud with my dad growing up, so she was blown away that I could read so clearly. And then she asked me to explain what I just read, and I explained to her what I just read and what was going on. And she immediately went to the school and said, "This boy doesn't belong in remedial classes. In fact, he's an advanced student." And then she commented that I was reading a college level book and understood it. 5th grade, we're all damaged by something. They didn't understand I was ADD as a kid. I didn't find out about that till I was in college. And Script, you're totally right on so many things. There's programs that just are backward the way they have them set up in public schools. Let's see, Script Doctor, I'm not saying that because she's really smart. Saying, yeah, I know what you're trying to say, buddy. Ecto 1 is still my favorite car. Hell yeah. And I got to tell you, stick to the end for Ecto 1. It's Oklahoma. Where the chains? Oklahoma with a anyway. Also, autism has a consistence of prohibiting the individual from being able to think abstractly. It's true. It's one of my complaints about myself is that I have great difficulty thinking abstractly. So you can tell I'm on the spectrum, mildly, because I can think very creatively, and I can think abstractly, but I'm limited in my abstract thinking. And it's always annoyed me, which is why I don't do real art, because I can express myself through music, because music is math. People don't understand it, but music is math, and I understand it. And I'm very good lyrically. I'm very creative writing wise that way, but sometimes I feel great difficulty in expressing how I feel about things, and I have to labor extra hard on it. But I don't think she was autistic even remotely. She wasn't I don't think her character was on the spectrum. Her character was simply the nerd outsider, and she was emotionally and intellectually, I don't want to use the word superior. I just like that. She was ahead of everybody. She was ahead of the curve with everybody. even her own mother. No, and I talked about that in the car with Deanna on the way home. Is I said it skips a generation, is what they're saying. The Egon gene. Uh, oh, absolutely. I don't want to spoil it. Please, I got to be really careful. I don't want to spoil it, but they are totally worth it. I can't tell you what happens, but stay after the fucking credits. Diagnosed 6 months because he never once cried. He's 18 now, really sharp but very silent, the exact opposite of his dad. And at one point that was something brought up with me with my dad too. Is because I didn't cry over people I loved when they died, but I'm very empathic. It's just I'm very emotionally in control. But where I lose control, and it's embarrassing for me, is watching movies. I will get absolutely embarrassed when I get emotional. I got emotional tonight. I absolutely fucking cried in one scene. I had trouble keeping my composure. I got so emotional over it. Not going to ruin it for you. You can find out for your fucking self. I have Asperger's. Dan Aykroyd has Asperger's. I know he's on the spectrum. I'm going to take that back. I know he's on the spectrum. Yeah, exactly. You're fucking weird, Pat. Well, see, that's where my stepson, Draco, is like that. He starts talking about the inner workings of the different psychological makeups of characters within a video game or in a role-playing game that he plays, RPG game, and he'll go into the depths of detail about their psyche and how you can compare that to people in your own life. And I'm sitting there, and this is me when Draco starts, and I love Draco. I love the way he thinks, but he'll start talking about the stuff, and I'm like, but there you go. Let's see. I credit parts. Yes, I did too. I absolutely was emotionally invested from the minute you heard the theme over the opening logo for Columbia Pictures. I was fucking in. I was in, all in. Huh. I didn't know that. Yeah, I've actually heard of that script. When you have children that don't show emotional um, reactions to things that they should, to stimuli, they'll often get tested as young as that. I've heard of that. Yes, the film absolutely uses this shit out of Elmer Bernstein's Ghostbusters music. Really does. I'm not going to tell you what ones, but they're really good cues, musical cues. I love them. Everything the imprint of the very first Ghostbusters is all over this film. Now, what is odd is the fact that the first film was attractive to children, even though it was all adults. I think it's odd making the characters this young, all of them, the main characters. But what the hell? I still fucking enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It's more of a family movie because they did it, so I guess that's good. But it still has some scary shit in there. I wouldn't let little kids watch some of this stuff, man. There's some intense fucking horror things. There's some great cameos in the film, and I wish I could talk about them, but they will. It's a spoiler if I tell you, so I can't tell you. But there's some really cool, really cool cameos in the film. One of them was so quick you almost miss it, and I was just like, "Fuck, he's in Ghostbusters! Wow." There's one cameo that I wished was going to be in there that's not in there. I don't think this is a spoiler. This is just disappointing. Is that Rick Moranis makes no appearance in the film? But I think that if this film does well, it is definitely set up to do more. And I would love to see a Ghostbusters Incorporated. See more of certain characters, and I'd like to see Rick Moranis come back and be one of the main characters that helps run the business or the company, whatever you can call it. Let me think. Is there anything else I really wanted to go over? God, it was so enjoyable. Oh, clearly, there's a lot of product placement in it, which is okay. They got to make their money, to make the film. And but there's a lot of toys, man. This movie was clearly smart in setting up stuff for toys. And I don't want to tell you some because that might have an impact on the plot. But some of the stuff, if you saw the trailers, like I love the little marshmallow Stay Puft guys. That was so fucking funny. And there's two payoffs for that. Really, two great payoffs for the mini Stay Puft guys from the trailer. I mean, it was really the first thing we saw. The very first teaser had them in it. Yeah, I told people, I said, look, this Dune is the closest thing to a proper adaptation we're ever going to get. It is. I thought they did a great job. Duncan Idaho is in many ways the star of the film. And he's such a great character. And I think they did a really good job of finally adapting him because previous TV series and film really didn't do him much justice. I thought that was one of the biggest disappointments was their portrayals of Duncan Idaho and just killing him off. So, well, he was attacked last year. He was cut on camera. He was sucker punched on the street. He said he forgave the guy, getting along just fine. No, I think his not appearing really is something else. I don't know. I think that he's doesn't like the business, and he's been out of it for so long that he's happy to be out of it. But the fact is he has adoring fans, myself included. I've been a Rick Moranis fan since SCTV, long before Ghostbusters. I was 16 years old and was a fan of his. Him, Eugene Levy, John Candy, O'Hara, all of them. Fuck, I love that. Flaherty, what a great series. SCTV was like one of my favorite things. I loved it better than Saturday Night Live, man. It was better written. It was funnier. I mean, you hit and miss on Saturday Night Live. There was no hitting and missing on SCTV. Everything was written, scripted for each show. And it was done, just done so well. Strange Brew, hell yeah, Strange Brew. I've always hoped that we would get a sequel to that fucking movie. God, I love Strange Brew. The strangest film Max von Sydow ever starred in was Strange Brew. He did not fit in that movie, but it was so fucking awesome. I love, because he's one of my favorite actors. Yes, I remember where I was, what I was doing the night he died. Well, it was announced. I was watching one of his. It's actually his favorite band. We were at the Dungeon at Eastern Illinois University, off campus, at the Dungeon Pub, and they had live music there, and the Drovers came in to play, and that was John Candy's favorite band. He was friends with all of them, and they stopped in the middle of the second set, and I was already like I had about 6 Guinness. I was already kind of three sheets in the wind, and they announced that John Candy has died, and they performed his favorite song live. It was what an emotion! I cried. Everybody was crying, and a whole bar full of fucking mostly Irish people. It was really funny, and I ended the night trying to get laid. Um, Tom, my roommate, Tom Rowe, he introduced me to this girl and her best friend as his cousin Gerry from Ireland. So I went into an Irish brogue. I was like, "Yes, I'm from Kilkenny. How are you doing there, love? Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's great. Oh, it's good, don't you know? You know." Sat there and they tried to quiz me, and I lived in Ireland, so I know a lot about that part of Ireland, and so they were trying to test me, like, skeptical. I had a great night. Went to a private party. She's sitting on my lap. We're really, and then as I'm talking, this guy that knew me from the Uptown, or another pub in town, goes, "What's with the accent, Gary?" And I looked at him real quick, and I looked away, and I kept talking. He goes, "Seriously, why are you talking like that? Why are you talking like that?" And she did a double take, kept looking at him, kept looking back at me, and I just sat there quietly, just staring at the floor. And then I looked up at him, and I locked eyes with him. And he's like, "What?" And she just got up and walked out, grabbed her friend, and he left. So Tom and I didn't get laid that night. And I turned to that dude, and I said, "I'm going to leave you alone tonight and not do what I want to do to you right now. But every time you see me at the Uptowner, you better buy me a fucking beer." And he did. He honored it. He found out what he did. He cock blocked me by letting him know I wasn't fucking from Ireland. Yeah, I can't. Oh, with Candy, yeah. Candy was like one of my favorites, and yeah, I cried when he died. I absolutely did. I was in a pub full of people, all of us crying, and I couldn't imagine Script having a chance to work with him. I've worked with some really, well-known people. I've never gotten a chance to meet anybody from there, and I'd love to. Martin Short, shit, people forget. He started this Ed Smiley, or whatever his name was, on SCTV before he went to SNL with it. So, yes, beer. Beer is good. Vitamin beer. Um, I wish I could, have you guys ask me questions about the movie, because I can't answer them. I don't want to. I want you guys to go see the film and enjoy it. It is absolutely a love song to the original film. I'm glad that they left a lot of things out from Ghostbusters 2. I'm really glad, because Ghostbusters 2 was, yeah, Ed Grimley. Ghostbusters 2 was really too much of a mix of the animated series and the films, and it annoyed us diehard film fans. I'm not that big of a fan of the cartoons, uh, because it changed things I didn't like. The relationship between Janine and Egon was gone in the cartoon. Um, what's its name? Slimer living with him in the firehouse. That was in the cartoon. It's a lot of stuff that they. And Dan Aykroyd still tries to do that shit, which is why I'm glad he did not write this script. But again, my issue with this film is the pacing. There's a lot of pacing issues at the beginning, and it gets boring because of it. Not boring in a way where I didn't want to keep watching. I wanted to keep watching because I like the characters. I like these kids. I wanted to see what was going on and where they were going with it. But I think they took too long to get to certain things. And then when they got to some things, they rushed through it. And I'm like, what are you doing? Slow down. Speed up here, slow down there. But look, man, he did a good job. Hey, it's Tom, my good friend. How are you doing, buddy? Um, uh, I think you went to see it yesterday, Ghostbusters. I hope you had the same reaction I did. Um, there were parts that I liked, didn't love, but overall, I love the film. I definitely put it right up there as a proper sequel to the first Ghostbusters, unlike Ghostbusters 2. And I consider it the second best Ghostbusters film made. I consider it better than a Ghostbusters 2. And I still enjoy Ghostbusters 2. There are a lot of things in Ghostbusters 2 I enjoyed. But definitely I felt it was the DNA of the first film is more in this new film than it was in Ghostbusters 2. Guys yelling at each other, Bill, Tom. GB2 is canon. Jason Reitman was in it, so it's canon. LOL. Like a t-shirt cannon. But God, I so thoroughly enjoyed it. I wish I could talk about the cameos. I mean, there's one cameo in particular. I don't think anybody knew who it was, and even with another cameo, even Deanna didn't know who it was. And I'm like going, no, that's so and so. She's like, no way. And I'm like, yeah, well, it really was. I'm checking something real quick to see if it's available yet, if it's known. Nope, I'm not gonna. I can't say who it is then. Yeah. Well, that's 2 words, dummy. There we go. Yeah, I'm looking to see if it's made public yet. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to share this with you guys. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to share it with you guys. Well, see, there are 2 stars. One of them I consider a bigger star. Plays a character that we hear about in the first Ghostbusters. We finally get to see him. Don't want to say. And then there's another character from the first Ghostbusters who is played by another actor, and I don't want to say who that is or who the character is because these characters are important to the mystery of the film. So I can't say. Yeah, I kind of agree with you because I really did enjoy that damn game. I really would like to get another copy of that game, and I'm hoping that they'll make another Ghostbuster game with the new cast and crew, including the other cast. Bill Murray is always going to be the holdout that you don't know if he'll show up or do anything. Yeah, I don't want to spoil that. Let's see, what does Tom say? My God, the Easter eggs in this film. They're all over the fucking place. I couldn't believe. And some of them are just visual Easter eggs to tie in and connect things. And I was just like everywhere I was looking like, oh my God, oh look at that. Oh, Um, I like the way they did the special effects. I think that some of it was done in such a way that it because this is my complaint about Blade Runner 2049 is visually it's not connected. The DNA of the feel and look of Blade Runner is not in Blade Runner 2049, whereas this film visually is connected to the first film, and I like that. You know, I think Denis Villeneuve is a good director. I think he's really good at what he does. But I think it was a huge mistake trying to make it his own film rather than trying to do a proper sequel that felt like it was in the same universe. Switch. So it's available on Switch. Oh, I'm gonna have to go check that out. Okay. Thanks, man. Hey, deleted scenes, you're back. Yeah, that's don't say. It's better safe than sorry. I do not want to get yelled at for spoiling anything at all with this film. It was just I thoroughly loved it. I enjoyed it. It was had issues with pacing in Act One and Act Two, serious issues. I think there are important scenes that ended up on the cutting room floor because it felt disjointed at points, um, showing what Wolf the kid playing the older brother from Stranger Things. His interests should have been better explained, and they're not. They kind of just skip, and it's really goofy. They'll take real painstaking time on scenes that shouldn't have time spent on, that could have been rushed. And then they'll do scenes where we needed to hesitate, pause, and really take a look at something or a character and their motivation. And then they just plow right through it. And it's just, yeah, I think the editing in this film, and I understood that they were trying to cut it down to a certain time, and I think it cost the first and second act. I think it hurt the first and second act. But I still enjoyed it. I was still it's a fucking good film. It's good writing. I enjoyed the story, the structure. I like the themes, the premise, the plot. I mean, there's very little plot to it. It's because plot's a device. People forget that plot isn't essential to telling a good story. Plot is a device you use to help a story, and if it becomes too important, so important that it forgets the story, J.J. Abrams, that's where plot becomes a problem because you don't have to have a plot to have a good story. Uh, help me with Lucky. I'm not sure who Lucky is. Is that the older brother? I forget his name. Um, oh, hi, Sherry. Look at everybody. So, welcome to the channel, Sherry. I don't think I've seen you in here before. This is just me, just talking to you guys. Um, I'm not doing a real breakdown or anything. I'm not going to talk about the Easter eggs. I'm not going to talk about. There's no spoilers. No spoilers. I just want to point out that I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I will talk about some of the issues that I had with it, which was the pacing. Act One and Act Two had serious pacing issues, rushing through things that they shouldn't rush through, uh, glossing over things they should have taken some time to look at and talk about, and then dwelling on things that really should have been a little quicker to go through. It's like I don't know who they edited the film, but I really think they fucked it up a little bit. And that's why I'm really looking forward to either a director's cut or all the deleted scenes on disc, because I'm going to bet that things that they should have had in the film are going to end up there. Yeah. Let me go back to what did you say about Lucky? There it is. Lucky is a character I don't think that they really went into much detail about, and they should have. That's one of the things I'm talking about. They gloss over it. I think it was important to know who she was. Um, I think that they should have shown why the kid was so attracted to her. I think that basic attraction isn't enough. We need to know, wow, because that's a good way to start a conversation. But when the turn happens, there's a turn in a relationship on screen where you understand, oh, wow, I get why. And we never really got that. There was nothing like that in the film. Yeah, Lucky is one of the characters I think that, again, probably suffered being cut, having scenes cut down. Again, I bet you there's almost an hour worth of story. I think the film is probably in its original cut was over 3 hours. Yeah, totally. I agree with you. And yeah, I knew you meant glossed. Um, of course, my buddy Zach is here. What's up, Zach? Absolutely. For anybody who's seen the film, I guarantee you're going to say the same thing I did. There's more to this film than what we saw, and I want to see it. I want to see it. Um, I want to get more feels. I absolutely fucking broke down and cried at the end of the third act. I absolutely did. I was blubbering and I was quietly, because I don't like sharing. I don't like people hearing me or seeing me cry. I totally broke down. Just, I fucking loved what they did. I fucking loved it. I loved it. Um, Good impression of what? Of myself? Oh, when I made fun of you. Yeah, fuck you. My name's Kyle. I'm from Canada. Sorry. Yeah, I hold you in great esteem, my friend. That's awesome. Uh, I don't think because look, man, this is a basic truth about nerds in particular. The 13-year-old boy that started us on the path to being nerds still lives in our heads. And it goes for girls too, nerd girls. Something happens and that made us nerds. And for me, it was my attachment to Star Trek and Star Wars. And that's why I can sit down and if I see somebody do a proper nod or see the cast or crew from Star Trek do something, I'm emotionally invested, and I'll blubber. I will blubber because that 13-year-old kid is coming back out again. Yeah, I can't. I'm not going to show that comment, CJ, because I don't want to talk about that character. What's up, Dad, man? Oh, thanks for stopping by, buddy. I appreciate it, man. I really do look forward to hearing from every single one of you. You hit me up on Twitter. I want to know what you thought of the film and if you had as good a reaction to the film as I did. Um, I'm telling you, I fucking love the film. I loved it. I love the original film. I have a love for Ghostbusters too. I do. It is there, but it's one of those films I have trouble watching sometimes because some of the stuff was just so, oh, walking Statue of Liberty scene and, but there's some other stuff I loved. Primarily, I love the characters. I love them. I'm, because I got to meet, I just forgot his name. Hold on. I cannot believe I just forgot his name. Before, oh, I didn't even have to get there. I just remembered his name. It popped into my head is Ernie Hudson. I met him, talked to him. My daughter got to meet him and hang out with him. Um, really nice guy, and I'm so glad that he and the other characters get the proper treatment, nod, and respect that they deserved. 2016 is such a shit film, just garbage. It just it's putrid. I'm so disgusted by it. And what's really sad is I was a big Melissa McCarthy fan. Actually, a fan of a lot of the people in that fucking movie. Um, and I can't watch them now because of some of the things they said after. Hmm, just I don't even want to go into it. Fucking disappointing the way people behaved. Uh, yeah, um, I don't want to talk about that either, Zax. I'm not going to show your comment of a certain person because I don't want to spoil it. I really loved Peter McNichols. He is so funny. He really is. And a lot of people don't know it that the actor who plays Vigo is not the voice of Vigo. Uh, Another nod to the classic Max von Sydow. Max is the voice of Vigo, and a lot of people don't know that. I'm always surprised. It's like, really, you didn't know that? I'm a big fan, and it's like, I didn't know that. It's like, and you're not as big a fan as you say you are. Yeah, Ernie Hudson is such a fucking nice guy, and when I met him, my daughter was terrified. She was had such a crush on him. You know, his character, I should say, and we were stuck in an elevator going up a bunch of floors, and I said, "Hey, Ernie. Hey, I'm just gonna let you know. I see this little girl next to me. Huge crush on you. I'm sorry if this is your wife, but my daughter plans to marry you one day." I love my daughter. She just has the greatest sense of humor. She's just like, she knows I'm going to go there. I'm not afraid to talk to big name celebrities and say whatever the fuck I'm thinking. Let's see what do we got here. I never watched. Yeah, I did. I watched it, and I got to tell you, there's only one scene in that film worth a shit. One scene, and it is the theater scene when I forget her name, the black comedian that was from Saturday Night Live, when she goes into the hallway with all the mannequins, the creepy looking mannequins, and she goes, no way, no. And that was hilarious. I actually laughed at that. Everything else I didn't laugh at. It was dumb, badly written, badly directed, badly edited. Um, just everything was just awful about that movie. He's just well, Ernie's a really nice guy, dude. He really is. I've met him. Just a sweetheart. Yeah, and what's funny is I was a Godzilla fan too in the '60s, but I'm an original first generation Star Trek fan. I watched it when it was on the air with my brothers and my dad, and I remember watching it with them. I remember reacting to it. I have memories all the way back to the age of 2, dude. It's kind of weird. I have eidetic memory, visual memory. It's not really photographic. A lot of people go photographic memory. No, it's not photographic memory. But I have memory that kind of shocks even my own siblings. That I'll remember something and describe it to them. And they go, "God damn, you remember that? You were a baby. You remember that?" No, somebody told you that. I'm like, no, nobody told me that. I remember it. I remember what happened. And they're always tripped out by that. The guy who played the physical embodiment of Vigo was also in Die Hard. He was also in John Carpenter's uh, the Madness movie with Sam Neill. It's like an H.P. Lovecraft film. I love it. Uh, he's in The Village. I'm not into ramble comedy. Um, where you stumble into. I mean, Will Ferrell was the last of SNL when it was actually funny skits. Um, but I know a friend of mine, Jeff Heller, said once that, well, SNL's always been kind of hit and miss. I'm like, well, that's true, but the fact is, depending on the cast and the writing staff, some seasons are better than others, and I've not seen anything that comes close to the Will Ferrell era with what they've got now. And I will say that Tina Fey, I don't give a shit about their politics, her and Seth. They were fucking funny on SNL. Weekend Update is what I watch. I'm a news hound and I love fake news when it's done right. And SNL was funny all the way until they left. And um, I just think that the people who took over at Che and whatever the fuck his name is, they're just not funny at all. There's nothing good at what they do. I watched it for like kept crossing my fingers. They're gonna get funny. It'll happen. No, they just got mean, ugly, and I gave up. I stopped watching SNL. Let's see, In the Mouth of Madness. That was it. Yes, I fucking love that movie, dude. Love it. Yep. Yeah, that's McNichol. McNichol, really, the last thing we saw him on was that TV series with the brother with the mathematic mind solving crimes. He was a physicist that he was his friend and helped him. Good show, too. I really did enjoy that show. What was that show? Was it called Numbers? Was that it? See if I remember that correctly. Hit Numbers. Um, Peter McNichol plays the physicist Larry Fleinhat or whatever his name is. David Krumholtz played the main character, and Rob Morrow played his brother, who was the other main character. Judd Hirsch was their dad. It was a good series, man. Yeah, Numbers was a good show. Well written. I like that. I like shows that are well written. So, but anyway, we're coming up on the hour. I think I said pretty much all I can really say about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Um, I had suspected that the title was important and to the overall theme of the film, and I was right. Um, Great callbacks, great Easter eggs, because callbacks are kind of an Easter egg themselves, in my opinion. Um, I feel anything that is a direct nod to something else is a potential Easter egg, and there are a lot of visual callbacks in the film, and done in a very cute and clever way. The film was well written. The story was good. The acting was good. I liked the kids. I thought the kids were really. I mean, it was their film. It was their film, and even though I thought it was odd making it about kids, um, fuck, I enjoyed it. I liked the characters. They were well written. They were thoughtful. I like thoughtful characters. I like characters that have a purpose and care about other people because they just care, not based off of beliefs or some sort of weird ideological outlook. They care because it's one human being talking to another human being. They don't break it down into, well, you should only care about this or these kinds of people, which I think is why the film is getting panned by critics. And but don't care. Critics don't make studios money; they cost studios money. Um, the people that make the studio money are the fucking audiences. They're the ones who pay the money. They're the ones who are putting money into the studio's pockets. They're the ones whose opinions count. And when we see, a score of 63 by critics and 96 by the audience, that tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, I never watched that movie, dude. Dracula Dead and Loving It. Look, Mel Brooks. I think I talked to Script Doctor about this one night. Mel Brooks. He's not really that great a writer, and he requires other great writers for his shit to be really good. And he leaned a lot into Dom DeLuise during their work together. Um, his last good film is only good because it parodied Star Wars, and that's Spaceballs. If it hadn't parodied Star Wars, I think the movie was dumb. It was just dumb. I hated Robin Hood Men in Tights. That was just stupid, not funny. Um, it's his writing really required other people. You know, Gene Gene Wilder is the real writer of Young Frankenstein. Um, Dom DeLuise had a huge impact on silent movie. Um, I tell people all the time, Mel Brooks is a genius idea guy, big picture guy. He's not really good at the writing. And I'm pretty sure it was Script Doctor. He and I were talking about this just the other night on private chat, video chat, and but Mel Brooks is a good guy. Some of the stuff that he gets credited with, he didn't actually do, and I found that I didn't know that he wasn't involved with as much of Get Smart. I know Buck Henry was the major writing force on Get Smart, and I thought for years that Mel Brooks was, and come to find out, and I think Script Doctor for being the one who told me this, is that he was not that big in the work that he did with Get Smart as people think. Oh, I just realized I didn't take my mask off back. So, take that. Oh, yeah, good. Excuse me a second, Greg. But hold on, there's some comments here I want to get back to. Yeah, I really did love that show. Judd Hirsch is like one of my favorite actors since I was a kid. Love him. Yeah, covered that one. Yeah, and that was something I kind of hoping that if they do a sequel, we're going to get to meet him, because I can't. Oh, I almost gave away something. Can't say it. Fuck it. Fucking hair. No, Hollywood. Listen to Script Doctor when we talk about this shit. Hollywood doesn't learn. They don't learn. They either know it when going in, or they'll never learn it, because Hollywood has the thing called shifting blame, where if something goes wrong, they have to shift the blame onto something or someone, and they will never learn from it. They won't. It's just that's the nature of the beast, man. Yeah, look, man. Anybody who is a great aficionado on comedy didn't like that film. It's sort of like Abrams and Zucker. They kind of lost their skills. It's like rock stars. They a lot of times they have like one or two really good albums, and the rest is just kind of echoing what they did before. And that's what Abrams and Zucker kind of did with the scary movie spoofs the ones that they worked on. Just it was rehashing stuff, and it was like they lost the ability to do gags. Amazon Women on the Moon is really good. I mean, John Landis is involved with a lot of stuff. Kentucky Fried Movie. That's what led to Airplane. Um, and then something happened. They got old and lost their ability to come up with new ideas. Happens, man. Don't hate somebody. I don't hate them for not being able to do more. I love the fact that they gave us such good comedies, but I hate it when they try to make more comedies and they're not good. So, yes, we do. I think it's important to rally behind films like Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah, nobody's going to buy those fucking toys. Yeah, I'm glad. Look, I'm always glad when actors get work. But yeah, it's just not very good. I hated the superhero movie. It was called Superhero Movie. It was a spoof. It was really bad, and Leslie's in it too. God love Leslie Nielsen. I miss that man. No, I didn't think Dumb and Dumber was all that funny. Um, I'm very picky with my comedies as well, and I have a great affection for classic films. Really, one of my favorite classic comedies is Cary Grant in uh, his his Girl Friday. Yeah, I love that fucking movie. You know, they it was one of the first films where they gender swapped a character. The character of Hildy in the previous versions of the front page was a man, but fucking he had an idea, you know, and the director wanted Hildy to be a female and made it a romantic comedy. Fucking genius. Brilliant fucking film. And a lot of the ad libs in the film. And I love how the I can't think of his name right now for some reason. Winchester Films. He owned Winchester Films. He secretly directed 1951's The Thing from Another World, James Arness. Uh, he had this affinity, and it's even in that movie, The Thing from Another World, of layered dialogue where people talk over each other. And you'll miss things. And I love that. You go back and you listen, and go, oh my God, that's what they said there. I missed that because he was talking. And that film, His Girl Friday, has tons of that in there. And there's like one gag in that film that I laughed so hard at, but nobody else got. I have to explain it to him why it's funny, because the mayor and the sheriff are telling Cary Grant, you just can't make somebody disappear. And Cary Grant goes, oh yeah, well, ask Archie Leach about that. And of course, you guys, I bet you don't fucking know what's funny about that. And what's funny about it is that's Cary Grant's real name is Archie Leach. And that fucking slowed me because I knew Cary Grant's real name. His name was Archibald Leach, which is why in the movie A Fish Called Wanda, John Cleese's character's name is Archie Leach. It's a nod to Cary Grant and the Cary Grant romantic zany comedies. Howard Hawks, yes, thank you, deleted. Howard Hawks he was a blessing to the movie The Thing and a curse, because a lot of people don't know this. I'll go and tell you historically, this is a fact. When he shit canned the director, he walked in and he took the script and he flipped it open to about the halfway mark and he tore out the back half, threw it in the garbage, and says, "This is our film." I shit you not, that happened. And I blew my mind. What's Kristen Nyby? I think that was the director that got fired. And Howard Hawks ghost directed the film the rest of the way. He took no credit for it because Nyby had to get full credit for it because he was paid and all that shit. So that's always bothered me that he did that. Hawks is also the force behind making it a man creature rather than a tentacled thing that could copy you. because that was in the original script, that they were going to have the alien be tentacled and all this stuff. And Howard Hawks, again, genius in so many ways. When it comes to dialogue in particular and comedy, that guy's a fucking genius. I love Howard Hawks. But what he did to The Thing from Another World, as much as I love that movie, I think that he broke it down in many ways from being the better film that it could have been. Yes, Mad World is a very good film. Airplane, Jesus, man, the jokes just kept coming at you. That was Abrams and Zucker at their best. It really was. I mean, they had worked on the Kentucky Fried Movie, Amazon Women on the Moon, great comical stuff. But it was Airplane, and I got to be honest, the TV series and the first movie, The Naked Gun, from Police Squad, The Files of Police Squad. And I love Police Squad. I thought it was way ahead of its time, which is why it failed. Well, it's not really why it failed, because it wasn't marketed properly. I'm one of those who hates fart jokes. There are moments where it will make me giggle. Like uncomfortable moments where everybody's just sort of like not sure what to do, and then all of a sudden you hear this quiet little dormouse. I have a scene written into one of my scripts that really happened, where two of my buddies were yelling at their dog because they thought it was making this growling noises, and it was actually my stomach. And it went on for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and finally they were just like, what the fuck's wrong with the dog? Why is she making that noise? And I just fell off the stool, started laughing. That's my guts. Making that noise. Oh, good night, Dust Wolfen. I'm glad you all stopped by. I like that scene too. I'm going to tell you, there are two scenes that made me laugh so fucking hard, I started blacking out. I couldn't breathe. Twice it's happened. And I hate admitting it because I have so many issues with this guy. It was Jim Carrey. The first time was that stupid movie. I hated the movie. Fucking hated that movie. Is the second sequel that he did with Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. I fucking hate that movie. But when he is trying to get out of that fucking robot rhino and starts going out of the hole in the back, I lost my fucking nut, and I fell on the floor. I was laughing so hard. It was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life. I'd never seen anything that funny. I thought, I'll never laugh. And I thought I was going to fucking pass out. I could not breathe. And the other one is Jim Carrey. And it's from Me, Myself, and Irene. And it's a joke that women don't get. And it's the pee scene where piss starts shooting in all sorts of different directions, because every guy fucking has had that happen. And it's funny as shit that they put that in a movie. And when he delivers the line, "Why am I peeing like I just had sex?" is so fucking funny. And women are like, "What? I don't get it." I've had women tell me that. I don't get it. I explained to them that your liquid gets on the end of our fellas and it starts to crystallize. And it makes little fibrous crystals on the very end of our penis. And when we go to pee, it shoots pee in all sorts of different directions. I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. And again, I almost blacked out. I was laughing. No, I'm going to tell you, I blacked out. I couldn't see. Both films, I laughed so hard, but I didn't lose consciousness. But that was my fear, is that I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe. And my throat was swelling with the blood pumping, because I couldn't fucking breathe. But yeah, you knew it. Yeah, it is the only funny thing. The rest of the movie's stupid. I'm not a big fan of the first film. Um, there were a couple of funny moments in it, but it was the non-PC stuff that makes me laugh. Yeah, Amazon Women on the Moon. It's not a film that really fucking slew me, but it's very clever. I like parodies. I like parodies that are thought out. And John Landis really is one of my favorite directors. And it always saddened me that he was the guy left holding the stick with um, Twilight Zone, with Vic Morrow and the kids dying. Because I feel that there are certain other people that were really responsible for that shit, and one of them included Steven Spielberg. And I thought he got a get out of jail free card. That was bullshit because it was his pressure that led to that fucking situation. Not the weirdest thing I've heard on YouTube tonight. What the stuff I said? Okay. Um, the first one, I'm assuming you mean Ace Ventura. There's it's enjoyable. I enjoyed the film, but I didn't laugh at it. I did not laugh out loud. It's hard to make me laugh, belly laugh. Um, I snicker a lot in my head. I go, and one show that I almost didn't keep watching it was Bless the Hearts on Fox. I thought it was kind of a crappy show. Um, but I stuck with it, because I love supporting animated television. Uh, Comedies, not kid shows. Even though I support some of them, I really do support the idea of mature entertainment done through animation. Like F is for Family. I fucking love that show. But Bless the Hearts, I thought was I didn't like it. I thought maybe they were making fun of Southerners, and I didn't like that. But as I stuck with the show, I realized it's got a heart. And they really care about certain things, and they're really kind about the Southern people. And I thought, okay, I'll stick with it. But I went through almost an entire season, and Deanna was there when she heard me chuckling. She went, "You laughed at that?" I went, "Yeah, it was funny. I can't remember what the hell it was, but it was something that happened." And something, I think Dale is named, the boyfriend, said something, and it made me laugh. I'm like, that was a good line. It was well said. Caddyshack is wait a second. Oh. Yeah, God, there's so many scenes, and there's a great joke. I knew the joke before I saw the film. That was in the one where he goes to Europe looking for Dreyfus, who is the villain. He stops off in that Swiss um, hotel or whatever it is. There's a dog there. He says, "Does your dog bite?" And he says, "No, my dog does not bite." And so Clouseau reaches down to pet the dog, and the dog fucking bites him. And he pulls his hand back. He says, "Monsieur, I thought you said your dog does not bite." He says, "That, monsieur, is not my dog." Cracked up laughing at that. I'm like, that is such an old joke, but it was a great payoff. I enjoy and anything that involves the fight training between Kato and Clouseau, when they would just tear up in a fucking apartment, go flying out into the Seine River. Just fucking Pink Panther with Peter Sellers is really just the best shit. I thought the last one he did, where they mixed it with old footage and stuff, and David Niven reappeared in it, and he didn't even do his own voice. He had throat cancer at the time, and they had hired Rich Little to come in and do David Niven's voice for him. Watch that movie again. That is not David Niven talking. That is Rich Little. Let's see, Shot in the Dark. Shot in the Dark is because it was originally a murder mystery done on stage. Shatner got his start with that, with a major stage production. And they turned it into a film and adapted it into a Clouseau film. And it was brilliant. I fucking love that shit. It was a Pink Panther film without being a Pink Panther film. Yeah. Yeah, Shot in the Dark has like when they're naked and she starts screaming is I love that fucking scene so much. She really you really feel her panic that she's naked in public. She's just losing her fucking mind. Murder by Death, yeah. And its sidequel sequel as well, which had because Murder by Death had parodies of all the great detectives, and from Charlie Chan to Sam Spade and all that shit, and Philip Marlowe, Sam Spade, and they had the same actor, Peter Falk, and I forget her name, that plays his assistant in Murder by Death, return to play basically the same characters, but they renamed them. Paul Simon wrote both films. They were stage productions, but he turned them into films. And both films are clearly connected, not only by the writer, but by the characters. They're the same characters, but he gave them different names. But The Cheap Detective is the name of the film. It's Peter Falk. And I forget her name. Not Madeline Kahn. What is her name? Uh, Eileen Brennan. Eileen Brennan. And Brennan and he just had great chemistry. Her, I mean, her and Peter Falk did. And so they did Murder by Death and then they did The Cheap Detective, which is clearly the same fucking characters. And I highly recommend both films. It's not an actual sequel, but it is. Paul Simon, in order to avoid, because I think it was from different studios, is the thing, but they're obviously the same fucking character from Murder by Death and The Cheap Detective. It's the Sam Spade character that Peter Falk was playing. Caddyshack is really a classic film. Again, Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis was a fucking genius. He really was. Bill Murray improvised, I think, every line in that film. And I don't think there's anything that was really scripted, that he would just ad lib shit. He would get a general idea of what was supposed to be done here, and then he'd just go with it. And Chevy Chase is really good at ad libbing. So the two of them, when they did their scenes together, even though before this film they didn't like each other, but Harold Ramis forced them. I like the way he did it. It was very clever. And Harold Ramis is a good friend of Bill Murray, and I think Bill Murray. Look, man, as awesome as Bill Murray is, he's also a curmudgeon little dick, and he has really been shitty to certain people. And one of the people he was shitty to was Harold Ramis, because all Harold Ramis is called him on his bullshit when they were making Groundhog Day. And Bill Murray never spoke to him again. It's like, what an asshole. Although I do think that I read somewhere that Bill had gone to see him on his deathbed, but I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and look. Stripes is a classic fucking movie right there, man. Again, Elmer Bernstein soundtrack. Sean Young and what's her name from all the slasher films and shit from the late 70s going into the 80s as the two female MPs. Fucking sexy. Oh, Aunt Jemima treatment. I mean, my God, when he does that, I lost my mind laughing. What a great film. And I got to be honest with you, I've seen the director's cut. Inferior. The theatrical cut is the better cut of the movie. Yeah, I can't remember where I read it, but I read that Bill rushed to him on his deathbed, and I think that they made up. And I kind of wish that had happened between Shatner and Nimoy, because I think that Nimoy, I mean, I think Nimoy overreacted, but I think Bill fucked up, dude. You don't, if your friend tells you that he doesn't want to be in the film, don't put footage of him in there, any footage. I understand why he thinks that it is necessary, but you know, I just think that it was not handled very well by Nimoy either, and it's sad. Yep. Well, I've read a lot of stuff about Ramis, and one anybody that was that funny creatively. I love his comedy writing. But I've also read that he's a very genuinely nice person in real life. His issue was Bill had just gone through a testy breakup, and he brought his shit to the set, and Harold called him on it, and Bill fucking blew up. Finished the film. They finished the film, but they didn't speak. They didn't speak after that blow up, and it's sad because they really did work well together. I really loved it when they worked together. Yeah, that's what I've heard, and I've met quite a few people who've worked with him. But I have gone an hour and 27 minutes, and I think that I'm talked out. I kind of want to. I think I'm going to crash out. I'm so fucking tired. Great day though. What a great day. Great date with my wife. Great movie. I can't recommend it more. Go see Ghostbusters Afterlife. If you love Ghostbusters, you truly do, you will enjoy this film. You will. I think that it's just really wonderfully done. No, it is. Bill is acting like a fucking prick, and Ramus called him on it. Absolutely. I'm not sure what you're thinking before, Kyle, but you are welcome. Thanks, Socks. I appreciate it, man. It's just me talking to you guys. This is, it's hard to call this a show. This is like a video chat with a bunch of people who can't fucking talk. You're a bunch of mute deaf people typing to me. Uh, Someone's gonna fucking hate me for that joke, and I don't care. I don't care. Good night, deleted. Good night, Zax. Good night, CJ. Socks. I appreciate you guys. I'm sure a lot of the guys are gone yet, but I really do appreciate Dust Wolfen, Jacob, Script Doctor, Tom, everybody stopping in here. And you know, Kyle, I deeply appreciate it every time you're in here. Kind of wish you were in the show with me. And Dad Man Walking, man, I'm glad he stopped by. That was really nice. I hope he's doing okay. Let me see. Is there anybody I forgot? Because I hate forgetting anybody. Oh, Martin Acosta. I love that guy. Too bad he wasn't able to stick around either. Am I forgetting anyone? I don't think I am. Oh, Pat dropped in. Yeah, he left. That was. I like Pat. Pat's working with me on some stuff, so that's very cool. That's everybody. All right, man. Um, Look, we all, everybody, send him some wishes if he can send it to his private message. Don't just do it in our group chat. Um, get a hold of him. Tell him that you're thinking about him, praying for him, because this is a tough time what's going on right now. And I wish I could tell you more. I'm not allowed. Um, but it is a situation. It'll get better with time. Um, I love Keith. He's my brother, man. He really is. One of the single most important people in my life. So it's like people are like, you think you go on if Keith wasn't able to do the show? I said, nah, I probably wouldn't. I do this show because of him. You know, even when I'm doing solo shows like this, I wouldn't be here if Keith wasn't part of this thing. Uh, Hold on a second. Oh, look, man. Yeah. Look, Harold Ramis really is a major part of why Ghostbusters, the first film, is so good. People don't understand what an impact he had on that script. Watch the making of Ghostbusters, and you'll catch a little bit of it in some of the talk. Ghostbusters is just really, it's a perfect film. It is. It's a perfect film. There's nothing I found wrong with the original Ghostbusters. Nothing in the writing, nothing in the acting, nothing in the basic premise and story themes, or any of the plot that's in there. It's a perfect film, and it's shot well, directed well, and it's edited very, very well. I think this film suffered in the edit, the new one, but I still think it's a solid film. And no, it's nowhere near as good as the first film, but it is a deserving sequel. I think that every fan will love it. That's all I got to say on it. With that, guys, I want to thank everybody for coming onto the show and chatting with me. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'm going to end. I'm not going to do I'm not going to do the credits. I just can't do the credits. I'm just going to end with my favorite video from Top Secret. With that, I want everybody to have a good night, and thank you for showing up.
Goodbye, Chocolate Mousse. I'll never forget you. Goodbye, Ducroix.
This is another perfect parody film. Perfect.
Goodbye, Déjà Vu. I'll always remember you. And I'll miss you most of all, Scarecrow.